What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another edition of Unscripted. I'm your host and producer, Logan Landers, and today we're going to be talking about the Miami Dolphins putting up, a couple points, about 70 or so, and also some teams who are surprising us a few weeks into the NFL season. Of course, joining me as always, my guy, Jay McLovin. What's going on, man?
It's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day, Logan. I beat the champ. And I'm only 1-2, but I beat the champ.
There you go. And Dustin Reese down below. Dustin, are you there with us?
Yes, I am.
All right, what's going on, man?
Oh, just getting new flooring put in my house today. That's about it.
All right. Well, hey, sounds good, man. Sounds like a good day. Hey, if you enjoyed the episode, everyone, let's get like, comment, share, subscribe on the following social media platforms: Facebook, X, TikTok, YouTube, and, of course, on Twitch. We go live each and every single week. Well, guys, let's just go ahead and get right into it. The Dolphins almost made some history. They scored 70 points against the Denver Broncos. Dustin, I'll let you start things off. What were your thoughts seeing the score for this?
Well, for one, putting up 70 points is one thing, but doing it without Jalen Waddle even playing makes you wonder how many points this team could have scored had Jalen Waddle been playing. Whoever decided to play this game today, the Miami Dolphins were playing on rookie mode in Madden, while the Denver Broncos were stuck on Hall of Fame mode and couldn't get off of it. And I know a lot of people are out here wondering how a team can score 70 points in this day and age, especially when the Broncos defense.
Oh, looks like we might have lost Dustin there for a second. Don't you love the internet, Jay? It's
a wonderful, magical thing.
Well, while we hold off for him to hopefully get back as soon as he can, I'll give my thoughts, Jay.
Yeah.
And, dude, I thought when I had pulled up ESPN, I thought the app was glitched. I couldn't believe it. And when you look at the highlights from this, Jay, because, yes, there are a lot of highlights, believe it or not. I mean, the Dolphins were just picking them apart. I mean, they could do no wrong on offense.
Yeah.
And, I mean, Tua had a phenomenal game. I mean, 23 of 26. He was lighting it up. 4 touchdowns, no INTs. And, Jay, the thing that's most impressive is the fact that they were on the field for so long. Their quarterbacks didn't get sacked once. I mean, it was tremendous. I mean, Jay, Mike White got in there, who I know a lot of Jets fans are hoping was still on the team. He threw 2 passes and got 1 for a touchdown. I mean, shovel passes, just these insane plays, great throws. But as good as the quarterback play was, Jay, the running backs were putting in some work. Devon Achane and Raheem Mostert had phenomenal days. They ran the ball combined 43 times for 350 yards. 350. I mean, that's insane. They ran for 5 touchdowns. Mostert has 3. Achane had 2. Achane ran for over 200 yards, Jay. And at the receiving core, Tyreek Hill did what Tyreek does. This was nothing new for him. I mean, he had 9 grabs for 157. I mean, he did a really good job. And like Dustin had mentioned, there was no Jalen Waddle. I mean, Tyreek had 9 catches. Mostert had 7. Achane had 4. Those are your top 3 receivers there. And then there's a bunch of other guys who got on the action as well. I mean, Robbie Chosen had 1 catch for 68 yards and a touchdown. I mean, you could have out there, Jay. We probably would have gotten the end zone. That's what it felt like. I I mean, yeah, dude. If I'm the Denver Broncos, and we'll talk about this more probably in our next topic, Jay, in terms of most surprising teams. I mean, is it safe to say, Jay, that the Russell Wilson experiment is a complete and total failure? A year and a handful of games in?
Right.
I mean, dude, I don't know how much worse it can get. And Sean Payton, Jay, I think we've seen so far through 3 games, it really doesn't matter who you have as a head coach if the talent you have on your team is not up to par. Because Sean Payton was a very coveted coach that Denver was linked to for quite some time. A lot of teams were linked to for quite some time. And 3 weeks in, they haven't gotten a single win. And I don't know how long it will be before they get their first win. I mean, granted, and look, they lost a close game week 1 to the Raiders, lost by 1 point, lost by 2 to the Commanders. And okay, so Jay, I say how long will it be before they get their first win? They play the Chicago Bears this week, so that's probably gonna be their first win. But man, just a rough performance. And Vance Joseph, the defensive coordinator for the Denver Broncos, better be praying, thanking whatever God he believes in. Because this is what, the 3rd or something. I mean, this is very rare air that the Dolphins are in now. And they could have, Jay, broke the record. The record was, I believe, 72. They could have went for a field goal at the very end and gotten 73, but Mike McDaniel said, hey, I'm going to show some love for the former team that I was a ball boy for. And he decided to kneel it and run the clock out. And, Dolphins once again getting the win, 70-20. Final score in that one. Jay, what were your thoughts with this, man?
Man, realize that they could have had a chance to break the record. I'm like, Mike McCarthy, you soft person. I would have totally kicked that field goal and said, hell with it. But no, I'm kidding. No, you guys show some class.
A little bit of respect.
But here's the deal, though. Logan, this is what I'm thinking, right? And I told you this a minute ago. I said, look, if you're up by 30, that's to me, that's you put your 3rd and 4th and 5th strings in, and that's showing mercy. If you're going to run it up to 70, well, what the hell is 3 more points?
I'm going to say, put us in there.
I'm just saying, you say we're showing some love because he's a ball boy, but at the same time, you run it all the way up to 70. Yeah. I'm saying, what is 3 more points really going to matter? I mean, it matters a lot, I guess, for the record book, but still, if you've already gotten beaten that bad, well, what the hell? People are going to get fired. What the hell? Just go ahead and do it. You know what I'm saying? Just go ahead and you've already decapitated it. Yeah. Just let it go. Anyway, Miami versus Denver. Jeez Louise, man. Sean Payton, what the hell? What the hell, Sean? At what point are you not making adjustments? At what point are you just saying, hey, look, sir, Vance Joseph, I'm going to take over play calling on defense because clearly what you're doing is not working. So let me try something else out here, okay? Sean, what are you doing, man? They brought you in to be better than Hackett. And I will say this, Hackett was a horrible coach, but at least he didn't give up 70 points. Nope. I'm just saying, it's like, damn. And here I am over here praying that we get Sean Payton in Dallas.
Hey. You want to retract that statement, Jay?
No.
Okay.
Oh no! Do I want to retract the statement about wanting to bring Sean? No, at this point, I'm glad maybe we did bring Sean Payton over. At this point, because at this point, I don't even think Mike McCarthy would have let this go that long. I think he steps in, and I don't even like Mike McCarthy. Yes, let me answer the question. It is time to fire Vance Joseph as your defensive coordinator. And quite honestly, I would be very tempted to fire Sean Payton, but I would put Sean Payton at the very least on notice and be like, look, bro, you're out here embarrassing us. You're on notice, okay? You are on freaking notice. But I fully expect Vance Joseph to be out of here within the next 10 to 15 minutes. of me getting done with this interview. Okay? I fully expect the parking space to be sprayed over and be ready for the new person we bring in. And I promise you won't be the one selecting it. God, Denver had 0 run game. 0. I mean, 69 poultry yards. I will say this, Wilson did 306, 1-1, and took a sack.
Not too bad, but, I mean, at that point, you're just kind of throwing the targets. I mean, you're not winning. But
now,
dude,
it is duly noted that Sutton fumbles twice and lost them.
Mm-hmm.
So really, you had 3 turnovers there between the fumbles and the interception. That's like 3 turnovers right there on your offense. Dolphins, jeez Louise, the Dolphins got 4 touchdowns from Tua, and they got 1 touchdown through the air from White. So you get 5 passing touchdowns, and then you get 5 rushing touchdowns. That means there is not one part. There is not one single aspect of that defense that was working. Not even one. Miami's defense got what? 12 QB hits, a sack, 2 fumble recoveries, and an INT.
Whoop-de-doo.
Miami got 10 freaking touchdowns. Vance Joseph needs to be fired, and Sean Payton needs to be put on notice for not even making one damn adjustment. What a time to be alive. Like literally, when you see a defense break down, not only on the run, but on the pass, what the hell?
I'll say this, and
That's all I got. Dustin. Oh, my God, what a stinker rule.
I'll say this. The state of Colorado had a very rough weekend in terms of football, and I'll leave it at that. Dustin, you're back. Hopefully everything's in one piece. I know you had texted me saying there was a big explosion, but we're glad you're back on the show.
Yeah, there's the gas. Yeah, the gas leak just blew up in my town right now, so we legitimately just had a big explosion.
Well, all right.
So everything's okay on my end, but I don't know about on the other end.
Yeah, hopefully so. Like I said, hopefully everything's good. We can hear you nice and good. So if you want to keep talking, man, about the Dolphins putting up 70, you're more than welcome to do so.
Yeah, back to what I was saying. People were wondering how a team in this day and age can score 70 points, especially against a defense that supposedly is supposed to be pretty good. Well, when your team has 2 of the 3 fastest players in the NFL playing wide receiver, when your team has the 2 fastest running backs in the NFL at running back, and then the 6 fastest overall times of players this year when they go like sprint times, the 6 fastest sprint times in the NFL this year have been 3 by Tyreek Hill, 2 by Raheem Mostert, and the other one by that running back that had 218 yards rushing on Sunday. You can see why you can score 70 points because there is not a single team in the NFL that has the speed that can keep up with Miami. I'm not saying they're going to put up 70 points every week or anything close to that, but at this point, and I said it when we were previewing our games last week, that I was very close to saying Miami might beat the team to beat in the AFC. I'm sold. Miami's the team to beat in the AFC right now.
Yeah, there really is, I don't think, any comparison that they are the most dominant team in any division in football at the moment. And that's actually a good segue, guys. We're going to move into our top 3 teams who are surprising us in the NFL. Or really just any math team, doesn't have to be 3. But we'll go, Dustin. We'll let you go things first. Which teams are surprising you in terms of both positive and negative so far 3 weeks in?
I have 2 positive and I have 1 negative.
All right, go ahead.
Positive number 1, obviously the Miami Dolphins.
That's fair.
We saw with Tua last year how good that team was. They were 9-3 with Tua at one point, including actually 6-0 with Tua at one point, and they actually had the number 1 seed in the AFC up until December. So we've seen this before, that when Tua is healthy, that team is a legitimate team. Their biggest weakness was always having a defense that didn't play well when it mattered. And hiring Vic Fangio, I think, was the biggest offseason signing that nobody talks about, because he's one of the best defensive coordinators we've ever seen. And now he's got that defense playing at the level that they need to play at to win championship football. And now you're starting to see kind of how good that Miami team really can be when everything is clicking. Another surprising team to me, and also in a good way, is I'm going to say the NFC South in general, just because I don't think anyone expected 3 teams to be 2-0 heading into this week. Granted, they're all 2-1 now, all those teams that were 2-0, but at this, I think a lot of people expected that division to arguably be the worst division in the NFL, especially when you had the Bucs going 8-9 last year with Tom Brady and winning that division. Now you might need 10 wins to win that division, which I think is a pleasant step up from where that division's been in the past. And the biggest surprise, number 3, will be the only negative that I'm going to list in. It's the Chicago Bears and just how bad this team really looks. You look at all the money they had this offseason. You look at all the money they spent this offseason side of the ball. Then they go and get DJ Moore to be the number 1 wide receiver. And not only does this team look bad, but they look miles worse than what they were last year, and they were a 3-14 team last year.
Well said. Well said. All right, Jay, which teams have been surprised both positively as well as negatively in your eyes?
Yeah, I put 6 for a few reasons. I'll make it short and sweet to the point. Really, why? Obviously, Miami Dolphins, because no one knew how Tua was going to perform after all the concussions that he took last year, and honestly, he has performed extremely well. Mostert off that run game is performing well as a run and receiver. Obviously, Tyreek Hill is doing well. Waddle's doing well, even though he's hurt right now. But I expect him to be back soon. But Miami is just crushing it. I think on offense and defense right now, and they really are the best team in their division and one of the top teams in the league, in my opinion. Tampa Bay is another one. Baker is taking charge, and the defense is playing well. I know they took a loss. They took a loss against, what was it, Kansas? Who was it that took a loss against last week or this week?
Are you talking about Tampa Bay or?
Yeah,
they lost to Philadelphia last night.
Philadelphia, thank you. My brain were on the team that they were playing, but Philly is a very hard team to match up with. Jalen Hurts and company is just a hard team to match up with, especially with that defense is playing as well as they are. So I'm cutting them Tampa a little slack, but honestly, they're with Baker at the helm. I think he's doing better than what I think most people thought he would do. I think that team is doing better than what most people thought it would do. So because they are surprising in that manner, that's why I put them there as well. The Lions is another one. The defense, Goff, St. Brown, the defense, the kicker. I mean, they're all doing the right things. And I think that this team has finally resurrected itself to the point of being on the right path to eventually become a super dominant team. So I look for Detroit to continue to grow and get better as they go along. And then you got the Bears. Jeez Louise, man. What a total cluster F, total meltdown on all facets of the game. After all the additions in free agency, after all the additions in the draft, with all the realignments and everything that's gone on in Chicago, they still look like dog poo-poo. Justin Fields still looks like a bust. That whole team is garbage, and I feel extremely sad for DJ Moore. I think that the Kansas City Chiefs have pointed out that they are not using him the way in which he should be used, and I just feel like he is going to waste away, and I hope he can get out there as a free agent very, very soon. Khalil Herbert and run company, I just don't know what to say about that. Other than the play call issue, an offensive line issue, but they are definitely hurting over there as well. Bears defense, like they had one. Broncos, Peyton, again, after that last game and after what's going on in this season, it's just the defensive coordinators, they're all looking horrible. I think this has got to be the last year for Fangio. Van Joseph. He's got to be gone, I think, relatively soon. I think Russell Wilson experiment needs to be a dumpster fire, and I think this team needs to go into rebuild and figure out where they need to go. And I think Sean Payton needs to build this team from the ground up like he did with the Saints, and then let's see what can happen from there. But this whole Broncos team is, outside of Judy, is just garbage to me. Minnesota, jeez, come on. Like I think Stat Guy said at the beginning of either this show or the last show, this team would be 3-0 if they actually had a defense. And I think they do probably have a defense. They're just not being used right. And I think it all goes back to the coordinator if not even the head coach. There's only so much that offense can do if you don't have a defense. I mean, yeah, Kirk Cousins, as we know, is going to be the scapegoat for this team, even though the defense is really the true culprit as to why they are where they are. And this team is better than what they show in the record books. And it just is a fact. I think it comes down to play calling and not utilizing their team in the right and proper way, at least on the defensive side. Those are my 6.
All right, for me, like I said, I mean, we've listed a lot of them. Obviously, you got to put the Bears in there. I'm not going to go into detail. Y'all have already done enough with that. But, I mean, yeah, that's a disappointment. The Broncos, 0-3. That's looking rough. Another team, though, that you guys did not mention I put in there, the New York Giants. I mean, they're 1-2. And more so, Daniel Jones has looked just rough. I mean, he's thrown for 562 yards, a little bit below 65%. But, guys, 2 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, sacked 12 times. And you give this dude all that money in the offseason? I don't know about that one. Guys. That ain't looking too good. Also, Jay, let's not forget their big acquisition that they picked up over the offseason, Darren Waller. He's only got 132 yards in 3 games. I mean, Tyreek Hill just got that 1 game. So that's looking rough out there for New York. Saquon going through some minor injuries, nothing major, but I mean, that's what we've always said is he's injury prone, but hopefully this one isn't going to be lingering for too long. Also keeping it in the East, Jay, the Eagles, they've looked very good this year. They've looked really well when they had the other night. And that's the thing we said with Philly is if Jalen Hurts can keep playing the way he has, and if they keep that good running game, I mean, DeAndre Swift, he's looked great. I believe he's second in the league in rushing right now. With over 300 yards, so he's looked really good. Taking a look around the NFC, I'll just keep it over there. The Lions have looked really good. Like we mentioned, the Vikings, they've had some tough losses. The Bears have just looked probably like the worst team in football. NFC South, it's going to be a fight, a 3-team race, I should say. The Falcons, Saints, and Bucks all tied for first place. Panthers are just kind of there at this point. Out in the West, the San Francisco 49ers have looked very good. If it wasn't for the Dolphins looking as good as they have, I mean, I think the 49ers would definitely be getting all of this press, and they've looked great. McCaffrey's done really good. Brock Purdy has showed that he was the right choice coming into this year. So, like I said, they've looked great.
Do you think that's why they're not Do you think that's why they're not getting the press, though? Do you think that's why the Niners are not getting the press, though, is because they look so good with Brock Purdy towards the second half of last year, and it just kind of carried over to this year?
Maybe because that story has kind of already been written in a way, you know what I mean? And he's still, like I said, he's doing great. I've really liked watching him play. But you know how the NFL is. They find the new shiny toy and they just run with it. And that's what the Dolphins are this year, with everyone looking locked and loaded, rolling well. Some other teams as well, like I said, the Jets, they're just, oh my God, they had all this hype. And in two passes that he had against the Broncos, Mike White looked better than Zach Wilson this season. So I'm just saying. But yeah, no, I mean, a couple weeks in, like I said, still a whole lot of game left. But yeah, I think also, man, that also just another one that we've touched on the shows, just in our private chats, is the rookie quarterbacks have not looked the strongest. I mean, you could probably say C.J. Stroud is the best looking one. I'm not saying he's blowing competition away, but in terms of you look at the other guys who've been drafted, not the best. But yeah, man, it's been interesting. A couple weeks in, really just seeing everything. But yeah, Jay, 3 weeks in, and we already might have Super Bowl favorites with the Dolphins and 49ers. And look, the Eagles also a really good team too. But I don't know, man. I am fully expecting. I mean, Jay. I know you hate to say this, but does it seem likely that for the NFC Championship we're going to see Eagles and 49ers? I mean, it doesn't seem to be trending that route. I know it hurts you to say it, so that's why you're nodding. And we'll leave it there. AFC side of things, it's really just a toss-up. I mean, you could kind of pencil in the Dolphins the way they're looking. But I mean, other than that, Jay, it's really just a plethora of teams. Obviously, the Chiefs are right there. Obviously, going to look really good. But I mean, my God, the AFC North, they just have a ton of teams, who are going to be fighting there. But yeah, it's going to be interesting, man. Well, Jay, do you have any final thoughts on your surprising teams, or any final words for the Dolphins scoring 70?
Yeah, absolutely. Everything you said, I totally agree with. 49ers, Eagles, stuff like that, man. I mean, I agree with that. Like I said, and that's why I put surprising teams being Dallas Cowboys, because I'm not surprised by anything with that team at all anymore. It is what it is. As a matter of fact, everything they do actually is quite normal. So there is nothing surprising. So you can't put that in there. So no, if you want to put Eagles and 49ers going at it, those are two viable teams. Mm-hmm. Certainly makes plausible sense considering how well the 49ers are playing in their division and how well the Eagles are playing in our division. So no, I mean, honestly, those are probably the two best teams in the NFC side. So it is what it is. So, no, it is what it is, brother.
Hey, well, Jay, as always, appreciate you coming on. Dustin, glad that what a show he's had. He's on, he's off, he's off again.
He's kind of like the Cowboys. You're either on, or even the Astros. You're either on or you're off. There's no middle ground.
None at all. Well, Jay, appreciate you coming on, man. It's always fun having you on, talking some sports. I've been your host, producer, Logan Land. Enjoy the rest of your day, everyone. We'll talk to you again on another episode of Unscripted.